Now, when we got news that the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors would be facing each other in the first round of the NBA playoffs, I instantly got excited for quite a few reasons. Number one, I just think it's good for the game of basketball. When we look at these two teams, we look at the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors over the last 10 years or so, they've had a lot of history with each other, going back to when the Houston Rockets had James Harden, where they've met in the playoffs a couple times. And hell, we even look back to last year when the Houston Rockets, when they were making their late season push where they had a real chance to get into the play-in tournament, and the Golden State Warriors were also going for that 10th seed, and they had a game towards the end of the season that implemented or that impacted the standings in the Western Conference for that final 10th seed. So these two teams have history, and we can see that on the basketball court. In this series. It's been so intense in these first two games so far. So that's one reason. And then also, I feel like this is a big time opportunity for Coach Ime Udoka for the Houston Rockets, because a lot of people don't think they have the experience and they don't have the offensive ability to be the experienced championship caliber team, or a team that has won championships over the last 10 years like the Golden State Warriors. So I like this opportunity for Ime Udoka, for Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun, Amin Thompson, all of these young guys on the Golden State Warriors. Also for the veterans on this on this team, Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks. A lot of people thought these guys wasn't good enough to help the Houston Rockets turn things around when this got brought in. So I'm so hyped up for this series between the Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets. And we talked about this all season long, or not all season long, but coming down the stretch of the season as we gotten closer to the postseason. We talked about how we know the Houston Rockets. We know they're not a team that shoots the three-point shot very well. We know they're not a team that shoots the three-point shot a lot, but that doesn't mean that they can't come into a playoff series or a playoff game and dominate without being able to knock down threes. And that's what we've seen these first two games. And I know they lost game one, but I feel like the Houston Rockets were still the most dominant team in these first two games of the series. And we kind of knew that coming into the series. That's what the Houston Rockets were going to have to do. They were going to have to impose their physical will on the Golden State Warriors. We look at these two teams and the way that they play, two completely styles of team, two completely different styles of play. The Golden State Warriors are more of a finesse team, more of a perimeter playing team. They want to get up a bunch of threes. With the Houston Rockets, it's the other way around. They want to pound you down, wear you down. They're going to crash the glass, and they're going to live and eat in the paint. So we knew coming into this series, the Houston Rockets, they're going to have to impose their physical will, because and we look at it with our eyes, they're a much bigger and a much more athletic team than the Golden State Warriors. So they're playing that to their advantages. But I think one thing we have to stop this. And I'm speaking as a pure basketball fan, not as a fan of any team. But I feel like Stephen Curry, I don't know what it is, man. This guy is so goddamn protected as a superstar. Like I got into this from watching ESPN, from watching Fox, watching First Take and all those debate shows, and I promise you guys, I don't think I've ever seen like segments where they sit down after Stephen Curry has had a bad game or he loses a playoff series. You know how they criticize other players. I've never seen that happen with Steph Curry and all of these Golden State Warriors fans. I don't know why they pacify him so much, and they think he's above the physicality that comes with playoff basketball. All of this complaining about the way that he's being guarded. Everybody is being guarded like this. If you're the best player on the team, you're going to be getting guarded the way that Stephen Curry is getting guarded. And you don't hear Stephen Curry complaining about that, because he's a competitor. He's a dog. He knows what's at stake in this series. So things are gonna get physical. So I think all of these Golden State Warriors fans, man, it's probably a bunch of little kids that need to stop complaining about these guys, saying that they're being too rough or too physical out there. You have a bunch of dogs out there on the court. The Golden State Warriors have Draymond Green on this team. We know what kind of energy he represents. And in the Houston Rockets, they have a bunch of guys on their team with the same mindset as Draymond. They're not scared of nobody, and they're not about to get punked by nobody. So this game is gonna be highly competitive. We got a lot of more basketball left, so it's gonna continue to be chippy. And then lastly, People saying that Amen Thompson should be suspended for what happened with Jimmy Butler. Man, if you didn't watch the game, you shouldn't be commenting, or if you didn't see the play, you shouldn't be saying things like that, because it was obviously an accident. Amen Thompson was pushed into Jimmy Butler while he was in the air, and if you listen to Amen Thompson, he's not no malicious player. He loves the game of basketball. These guys are just out there competing. But nonetheless, I feel like all of this complaining about Stephen Curry getting grabbed, getting pushed too much, they need to stop it, bro. That happens to LeBron James. That happens to Kevin Durant. It happens to every best player on the team, man. So, but nonetheless, and back to the X's and the O's, I'm loving what I'm seeing from the Houston Rockets through the first 2 games of this series. And it's, we've talked about down the stretch of the year what the Houston Rockets can do in the playoffs outside of 3-point shooting to dominate in the series and contribute to wins. And they've been able to do those things so far in these first 2 games against the Golden State Warriors. Through 2 games through this series, they're dominating these guys on the glass, and they're dominating with their defense. The Golden State Warriors still haven't scored over 100 points yet in this series, and I know it's playoff basketball, but still two games under 100 points. That's impressive. The second game held them to under 90 points, so they're still defending at a high level, and they're rebounding at a very high level. And we look at game 1. I thought game 1 was, even though they lost it, I thought that was a great learning experience for the Houston Rockets, because they started off that game so well, and then we just seen all of a sudden the offense got stagnant. They started to turn the ball over, and they got down by as much as 20 points. But what was so impressive is that being having so many guys that's freshly new in the playoffs, they were able to fight back and actually have an opportunity to win the basketball game. And they fought back by not doing anything that they don't usually do, by not being desperate, but they fought back by playing their style of basketball and just taking the moment in and relaxing, and they almost came back and had an opportunity to win that game. So and in that game also, they were so close to the Golden State Warriors, but their backcourt, Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green, didn't play nowhere as good as we know they can be. And with Jalen Green, I'm pretty sure they went back and saying this, Coach Ime Udoka, the players, we lost by 10 points, and we have a guy on our team who's 22 years of age, probably the most athletic player in this series, and if he's not, it's somebody else on our team, and he can score the ball effortlessly. So if we can get him going, if we can get him some easy looks, and we get into his mind that you have to score the basketball, we're gonna have a really good chance at winning this series and winning the next ball game. And that's what we've seen in game 2. We needed somebody to come along with Alperen Sengun, who had a terrific game in game 1 against the Golden State Warriors, really set the tone of what kind of series this was going to be from him. And after game 1, I didn't make a video, I wanted to, but I thought Jabari Smith Jr. should be featured more in this offense, and I thought his teammates were looking him off a lot. I was just watching Jabari Smith Jr. a lot, and just him running the floor, him spotting up. He's open a lot in this series, but he's just not getting the ball. In game 1, only 4 shots. Game 2, only 4 shots again. I would love to see Jabari Smith Jr. get more touches, and I don't think no plays have to be ran for him. I think his teammates just have to find him. He's very hard to miss. He's a very big basketball player. But I love Jabari Smith Jr. I love all the versatility that he brings to this series, just his ability to rebound, his size, his speed, his athleticism, and his ability to switch everywhere. So I was big on Jabari Smith Jr. after game 1, but we seen the Houston Rockets. We've seen everyone elevate their level of play in game 2. We saw Tari Eason scored 14 points off the bench. Steven Adams was still doing his damage on the offensive rebounds. Alperen Sengun had a double-double this game. Not as many points as in game 1, but way more rebounds. He had 15 and 16. He was also assisting the basketball. And I also, just like Jabari Smith Jr., I think Alperen Sengun is a big key in this series as well, just because the Golden State Warriors, they don't have nobody that can match up with him. He's too big. Draymond Green, I'm a firm believer that he's one of the best defenders in NBA history, but at some point, size and strength, it does matter, and he's just not big enough to handle Sengun by himself. So Sengun, he's going to be causing or attracting a lot of attention. That should make the offensive struggles for the Houston Rockets a lot easier at times, because it's going to take 2 guys on Alperen Sengun. So and I think they're going to be able to capitalize off that all series long. And then Jalen Green had a big time game After game one, he talked about how, and I'm paraphrasing here, this is his first playoff game. He said the court felt bigger, his legs were shaky, the lights were a little brighter, and that got to him a little bit. But he said he was able to settle down, and I believed him because he came out in game two and he put on a goddamn show. He had 38 points and he knocked down 8 3-pointers, and he was engaged as a playmaker, engaged as a defender, engaged as a rebounder. So this was a big time win for the Houston Rockets, and now another test lies ahead for this team as they go on the road for the first time in this postseason. So those 5 guys that make up this rotation that are new to the playoffs, we're gonna see how they respond on the road. So almost kind of like every game is going to be a new challenge for the Houston Rockets, but I think they're more than capable of handling these new challenges, and I can't wait for Saturday night to see game 3 of this series. But it's been so fun so far. It's been a very physical series. It's been intensive. We got guys getting in each other's faces, and I just get confused at times because I thought this was, I hear people talk, I thought this is what people wanted, and then when these things happen, I guess it's because it's not by these people's favorite teams that they start to complain about it. But people need to make up their mind more if they want less fouls and more physicality. But then when that happens, they're crying about it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a real conundrum. But that's what I wanted to talk about with you guys today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment down below if you agree or disagree, and then subscribe. Subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man. Now I got the hiccups. We do this all the time, man. And that's curtains.